All right, Shalom. First, let's start by saying praise to Yahweh, Bashim Al Shah, Bashim Kakadah. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of the well, and salutations to the brothers just learning truth and sincerity. As you can see, the title of this video is F Communities Test Basic Income Programs. Here's how one California city fared. You can see this is on PBS News Hour. So I'm going to go ahead and press play and ask the precepts.
It's not a new idea. No strings attached payments to provide people with a financial floor, what's called a guaranteed basic income. It actually dates back to 16th century England. Today, it's being tested in dozens of pilot programs across the country in cities as big as Baltimore and as small as Yellow Springs, Ohio, population about 3,700. Some of them use taxpayer funds, others use private contributions or foundation grants. Stockton, California was among the first to launch a pilot program in 2019. Earlier, I spoke with Stockton's mayor at the time, Michael Tubbs. He's also founder of a group called Mayors for a Guaranteed Income. I asked him about the genesis of Stockton's program.
At the crux of all the issues from homelessness to crime to education was this persistent poverty and economic insecurity. So in my first 100 days, I gathered my team in the office and I said, you guys, I want our legacy to be an anti-poverty, a pro-economic security administration. So let's come up with all the ideas for how can we as a government ensure that people have enough to live and survive and eventually thrive. And through that, my team came back with this idea of a guaranteed income, citing work that was happening in places like Kenya and in Mexico and in Brazil. And I had heard of guaranteed income from studying Dr. King in college, so I was familiar with the idea. So I said, well, let's do it.
And as I understand it, the program ran for 2 years. You had 125 participants from neighborhoods where the median income was at or below the city's median, which I think was about $46,000. They got $500 a month for 2 years. What did you find?
So many people said the money would be spent on drugs and alcohol, or that people would stop working, or that people would use that money to commit crimes, etc. And what we saw was that people spend money the way you and I and the viewers spend money. We saw them be 2 times less likely to be unemployed. We saw them spend the money on things like utilities, on necessities, on food, and on their children. But we also saw health impacts. We saw those with a guaranteed income saw their stress decrease. Just a small amount of money was enough, not for people to become millionaires, but for people not to be evicted, for people to take care of their children, for people to be able to pay to get their car fixed, for people to live and contribute to their communities.
So everything you just said, it sort of contradicts or counters what the critics say, because the critics say that this takes away the incentive to work, that this will foster bad spending decisions. But it sounds like that's not what you found in Stockton.
That's not what we found in Stockton, and increasingly from any of the dozens of pilots happening across this country and this world consistently, which suggests to me, John, that part of the issue is not just a data issue, but a storytelling issue, that we have to get people to see the myths, the lies, the prejudices, the stereotypes, and the biases we have against people who may have less money.
And what happened when the program ended? I mean, these people in the pilot program had this income floor. What happened when that was taken away?
What we saw happen after it was taken away was people were able to use this money and do things to set them up to be better off than where they started. So what I mean is several people went from part-time to full-time work. So although they're not receiving the guaranteed income, they're receiving the income that comes with a better paying job with benefits. Or some people use the money to save up to pay for the deposit necessary for rent in a better apartment. Or some people paid off credit card debts. And so folks were able to use the money to pay off the little things that were holding them back. So now they're in a much better position than they were a couple of years ago before they were part of the program.
Do you see guaranteed income programs supplementing government assistance programs or replacing government assistance programs?
I see it as a supplemental. I see it really as an extension of the social safety net. I see it as our 21st century social security. And when in the Great Depression, we decided that folks who are older deserve to have a little bit of cushion post 65 because they've done so much for our communities. And I also think our current government programs should take note about what makes guaranteed income works because A, it's the money, but B, it's also the trust. that maybe people don't need to do a bunch of paperwork. Maybe folks don't need someone to sit down and make them come in and set goals. Maybe a lot of folks just need cash. Maybe that will make some of the investments we're making as a government that much more efficient.
Sort of along those same lines, why is it so important that these payments have no strings, that they can spend it on whatever they want?
Because folks' finances are so volatile that month to month needs change, right? And for example, for folks in current government programs, if you need money for food, that's probably not the only place where you need money. We know that 1 in 2 Americans already can't afford one $500 emergency. So it's really about providing people the contingency and the ability to use their mental acuity to make decisions because month to month those needs may change.
These programs, the pilot programs, some of them use government money, some of them use private donations, some of them use grant money from foundations. If you were able to make this permanent across the country, how do you think it should be funded?
We are able to make this permanent across the country. And again, I think the child tax credit is a huge start, which is a guaranteed income, albeit for families with children. So state governments, county governments, local governments, we're doing pilots there because those governments can't deficit spend. They have to have a balanced budget every year. Our federal government can, and we do. We can also raise revenue. We can legalize cannabis nationwide and use the tax revenue for that to pay for guaranteed income. We can close the 2017 Trump tax cuts, which gave $2 trillion away to the richest among us. And we could close other tax loopholes and create a guaranteed income. There's
All right, yeah, so you know, ain't too much left. You brothers can watch the rest of that. But all this shit that's going on with people in poverty and needing all this money, all this has been orchestrated by the elites, man. The elites are purposefully bringing this society down because they want to bring in a new world order, man. That's why the people are suffering and mourning, and yeah, they got to come up with all these different ideas, to keep the society afloat, to keep people from snapping, and today like ready to push the agenda to the next level, which is ultimately being done by Yahweh Shema Rashad, because it's the end of the Esau's kingdom, and the Lord is coming back to deliver His elect, His chosen, and kill a lot of people off, which He's already been doing that. But even when He come back, He's gonna be killing a whole lot more people off, man. So this is just the agenda, man. This is Micah chapter 2, verse 1. Woe means destruction to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hands. Right, the elites um, set this system up to be the way it is. Got everybody in poverty the way they got everybody in poverty, hoarding all the money, making people dependent upon the government. So when they collapse the system, people will snap, and then that can lead to the next phase of the agenda, which the Georgia Guidestones told you that they want the population to be reduced to 500 million people, man, out of the 8 billion people that's on the planet Earth, man. So they're the devil, man. They wicked as hell, man, and they're gonna be destroyed. That's why I say, whoa, for doing that, man. Ultimately, the elites, they're gonna go into slavery first. They're not gonna be killed off once the nuclear missiles hit this place. But after their 1,000 years of slavery, they get wiped out. All Edomites, man. That's what the fuck they get, man, for being so fucking evil. But that's the agenda that the Lord set up, man. So they can't go against it even if they wanted to. This is Proverbs chapter 29, verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. Right, people are in mourning, languishing, having to commit all types of crimes, just to get by, you know. And Esau, the who set it up like this, man. The Rothschilds, man. The 13 Illuminati bloodlines, the ones that's controlling the this system, man. This is Job chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the face of the judge thereof. If not, where and who is he? Right. So who running the world right now, man? What nationality people running the world? And the judges, by the judges, it means the top judge, man. The top judges. Start from Yahweh, which is God, or he to be Yahweh Shai, which is so-called Jesus Christ. The deliverer, he the deliverer, man. Then the apostles, the prophets, you know, covering them up means he changed their color. Everybody know that the Lord is a man of color, dark, extremely dark skin. God, same, angels, the same. But they got him as being what? Leprous. So that's how you can tell who the wicked is, man. That's running this world right now. You know. This is Isaiah chapter 19, verse 14. The Lord hath mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt, which is America, to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. Neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. Right, Egypt is America, no work, meaning that the head or tail, meaning that there's no jobs, man. The jobs are going overseas. People are seeing that America's coming down. The monetary system is messing up other economies. Nations are breaking away from America and they're losing their jobs. I mean, losing companies. The companies are going across seas, you know, because the currency is being divided, you know. So it ain't no jobs for people, no matter what level you're at, all at the top to all the way down at the bottom. This all is being orchestrated, man. You know, that's why people going through the hell that they're going through, man. This is ultimately the Lord's agenda, but using Esau the devil to act it out, you know. And then I'm gonna go ahead and end it, man. With that being said, call Lord Yabashim Shai, give my honors to the elders and to the apostles that's doing the well. And salutations to the brothers that's doing the truth and sincerity. Shalom.